Okay, welcome everyone to another community AMA session with me, Tiny Warrior. So sorry for my throat and my voice today. I'm not feeling very well, but I'm sure I'm going to be able to get through this AMA with you today. So today I'm going to be bringing you the latest Tiny World news, developments and updates. So the community AMA used to be once a week, but now we're changing it to once every 2 weeks. Today I will be giving away 30 Spirit to our viewers, so be sure to ask your questions in the hashtag AMA questions section, or come live to the stage at the end of the AMA and ask your question live, and I will choose 3 random winners to give some Spirit to. I'm a little bit time limited today to 1 hour. I've got some other work commitments to get on with straight after the AMA, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so Tiny World continues to be one of the top performing BNB chain dApps on the market. So we're currently in the top 5 most used dApps on BNB chain in terms of active users. And unique active wallets transacting on our smart contracts has increased by 15% to 56,000 over the last 30 days. So that's just a posh way of saying we have 56,000 unique active wallets or unique users connecting to us and playing the platform in the last 30 days, which is huge. So on-chain transaction volume over the last week is currently at $55,000, which is quite a big increase on last week, around a 300% increase. So I've noticed the NFT marketplace has been really active recently, so hopefully it will continue. So yeah, not only are we in the top 5 dApps on BNB chain in terms of users, but we're consistently now in the top 25 for active users when you're looking at dApps across every single chain. So that's across Ethereum, Polygon, Solana and all the other blockchains that are out there with dApps. So yeah, this is a real amazing achievement. You know, we've got more active users currently than some projects that have been around for longer, such as Mobox, ApeSwap, DeFi Kingdoms, Crypto Blades, and there's so many more as well. So yeah, it's a really exciting time for the team and for you guys in the community, and we hope to be able to continue to grow throughout the rest of 2022 and beyond. So let's take a look at some of the recent developments that has helped us to achieve these great milestones. I think the main one that's come is the introduction of Spirit to the platform. So let's talk more about Spirit. So it was finally released at the end of September, and I know it's been a long time coming, but this allowed players to finally be able to replenish the energy for their tiny heroes, whereas before it wasn't possible. So that's one great thing. There was initial airdrop to VTink holders, people that held I think 1,000 VTink or more, got a nice little Spirit airdrop, and then you could get Spirit from playing Tiny Lord and reaching the leaderboard, or by completing the 7-day check-in, which we changed the rewards from Tinycoin to Spirit. Okay, now since the release of Spirit, obviously there wasn't that much on the market, and it you know, obviously it's a new product, and the team had more use cases to bring for it, and they've now added that extra use case. Spirit can now be used to increase the initial power of higher class tiny heroes. Okay, so this is SSR class heroes and above. Their power, which is, because I've seen a few people discussing it, this is nothing to do with Tiny Kingdom. This is to do with their power in Tiny Farm, in NFT farming and Tiny Lord. So you are now able to increase the initial power to around 80% of the maximum power in that class threshold. Okay, so the reason that this is the maximum threshold is to protect the rarity and the value of the higher power heroes, because these are very rare. So it's a really good new use case for Spirit, as lower power heroes within them classes will be more viable in Tiny Farm and in Tiny Lord going forward. And also it gives an extra use case to Spirit as well, which is always a great thing. We've also introduced a number of ways to obtain Spirit. Okay, so this increases the emission of Spirit each week by around 200%. It actually reduces the amount of Tinycoin being emitted each week as well, because the trade leaderboard has now changed from Tinycoin rewards to Spirit rewards instead. The team has also implemented the Forging leaderboard. So the Forging leaderboard is back. Players are now able to collect their forging points from making equipment and claim weekly Spirit rewards from placing in the top 200. Okay, Spirit rewards in Tiny Kingdom are subject to the same 1 week unlocking period as Tinycoin is, and they can be claimed in the wallet. Remember that Spirit can be sold in batches on the NFT marketplace for extra profits if you're not using it. So it's a really great new thing that we've implemented. You know, I think the current use case and the emission has been improved, and with less Tinycoin emission for the trade leaderboard, this can potentially be used elsewhere and emitted elsewhere. Maybe another quest or maybe another in-game leaderboard. We'll have to wait and see. But as always, I want to know your thoughts about Spirit, about the leaderboard updates and everything that I've mentioned today. So, do you think Spirit is good? Will you be using it or will you be selling it? Let me know what your thoughts are. Whilst we're talking about Tiny Lord, remember about the 80% gas fee refund. This event is ongoing through October. So September's refund has been ready to claim for a while. I'm sure most of you have done that already on the app homepage. We aim to keep this event running as long as possible, so keep playing Tiny Lord and show the team that this is what you want. Okay, so I think moving on from Spirit, let's talk about the UR auction. Okay, so it's been 1 month since the auction started, and so far we have burned over 520,000 Tinycoin that has been spent across the 4 auctions. So this is our main objective for the UR heroes, so we can reduce the circulating supply of Tinycoin. Now, I know some of you have asked about different UR hero events. The team say there may be some other special UR hero events in the future, so stay tuned. But for now, the UR auction will continue for the foreseeable future, as we are looking to use them to burn Tinycoin, rather than for promotion to attract new users, etc. So yeah, UR heroes, the auction is here to stay, and I'm not sure if it will be ending sometime this year or maybe it will roll on into next year as well. Additionally, the team have actually added some really nice small features to the platform that, you know, quite easy to miss, but are still, you know, beneficial nonetheless. So a lot of you know about Tiny Tools, or some people call it the Versal app. This has now been integrated into Tiny Farm for a better user experience. It's also been rebranded as Tiny Helper, and it will work in exactly the same way as before. It's just that we've now integrated it onto the web page on our app. So, you know, it's the first community tool that we've integrated, and of course we look to integrate more valuable community tools in the future. You can actually find it at the top of the homepage, right next to the guide. So no need to type in the web address anymore. You can get there straight from the Tiny World platform. Also, on the Tiny Kingdom interface, you can now see how many items have been sold in Tiny Kingdom and the total transaction price for Tiny Kingdom Market. I know it's a really small, you know, little update, but this is really a valuable piece of information for users when they see that. I think I was checking earlier and there was like 1.4 million total sales and nearly $6.8 million worth of game transaction volume. So that is really good information for anyone that might be new coming to the platform, and it's also good information for us guys as well that are playing and actively playing Tiny Kingdom, because then you can kind of track how the markets are going a bit better and you can see the liquidity and the activity within the game. Okay, so moving on from updates, let me give you an insight of what's to come in the next few weeks. So firstly, let's talk about Kingdom Markets, because this is usually one of the biggest talking points with the community. As always, you know, it's really important for us and for the users to keep the markets fluid. So the team are discussing and working on refining the use cases and the consumption scenarios for materials and equipment to help improve the markets. This could also be potentially adding a new quest as well. There's a few different options that are open to us. We're talking with the community members. We've been collecting your feedback to help us in the decision making process. And of course, we're discussing the best plan moving forward. If you guys have any suggestions, worries, feelings, or anything regarding Tiny Kingdom assets or anything else, then please reach out to us and let us know. Your insight is invaluable to us. Okay, let's talk pet NFTs. So I know the community is really excited about this new feature, the new pet NFTs, and so am I. I've spoken with the team some more about, I wanted to get a bit more information, maybe some teasers and stuff like that. So first, the team have told me there will be like a first generation of pets initially. So these Gen 1 pets will likely be listed on a third-party NFT marketplace, which is likely to be Binance NFT. I'm almost certain it will run in a similar way to the previous Tiny Hero NFT event that we held there. There may even be a whitelisting opportunity for users to get the first choice on purchasing these pet NFTs, but obviously more information will trickle out over the coming weeks. There will be a breeding system implemented into Tiny Farm, and it will work in a similar way to the Axis breeding system. And Tiny Pets will also be available to trade in the NFT marketplace. I haven't had this confirmed, but I'm sure that either Spirit or Tinycoin is going to be used in the breeding process. I'm also not sure whether pets will be able to be upgraded in the same way as Tiny Heroes, or will be able to be upgraded at all. As soon as there's any more information about it, I will let you know. I did want to get some designs and so that I could share with you guys, but the team have told me they're just going to keep them back for a couple of weeks, but instead they've given me some designs for some new NPCs, which some of you may have already seen one of them in the Tiny Kingdom, the new loading screen. But I'm just going to go quickly to the AMA question section, and I'm just going to post some images. So I've got 6 images. They're going straight into the AMA question section. Go and check them out. So these are new NPC enemy character designs. They'll be implemented into Tiny Kingdom next week. So this is just for the castle battle. So, I think they look really dope. I think they look really cool. I'm not exactly sure whether you're going to need to be on a certain stage to battle the new characters or anything like that. The team haven't told me that. What they did tell me is that these will be implemented into the game next week. Each will have its own unique animation as well. So yeah, I think it's just going to make everything look a little bit nicer. I think people may be getting a bit bored of killing skeletons the whole time. So yeah, quite happy to see this, and quite happy that I'm able to share these little designs with you before they're actually implemented. Alongside the Tiny Pets, the team are also working on developing the player versus player battle arena for Tiny Kingdom, and also they're working on Tiny Dungeons as well. Okay, so Tiny Pet NFTs, player versus player battle arena, and Tiny Dungeons are the main focuses for developments right now. And the team are busy as ever, working away in the background and trying to develop and integrate them into a platform. Like I say, I think the schedule is going to be Tiny Pets first, then player versus player battle arena, and then Tiny Dungeons. I don't have specific dates or anything yet, but these will come out over the coming weeks. As soon as more information is released to me, then I'll let you guys know. The mobile app will hopefully be on the Android store soon. There is going to be a bit of a longer wait, unfortunately, for listing on the Apple Store. It's just a lot of a longer process to get listed on the iOS store. So we will keep you posted, and we hope to have it ready as soon as possible, but it's likely that you'll be able to play on Android and download from the Android store before you will on the Apple store. Okay, so let's talk about some events that might be upcoming and sort of the marketing that we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, we've actually made some really good partnerships. We've partnered with Brave, so some of you may know the Brave browser, and we've integrated their wallet into the platform recently. We've also set up some advertisements with Brave, so there will be Tiny World push notifications directing their users to our platform during the whole of October. So the Brave browser has over 100 million downloads, so we're gaining really good exposure from this. There's already been over 200,000 impressions with a click-through rate of about 9%, so that means at least almost 20,000 people have come through to our platform from these adverts, so that's really good. We've also partnered with a couple of GameFi projects, so Epic League is one of them and MetaRun is another one of them. We're always looking to partner with more GameFi projects because we can tap into their user base, we can do co-marketing activities. You may have seen that I held an AMA session with Epic League on Binance Live on Monday, and that went really well. We had about 5,000 views on the stream, and there's over 1,200 people have taken part in the event as well that we've been sponsored from Epic League. So that's a really good way. We've gained lots of Twitter followers and lots of users to our Telegram from it, so it's really good. Other partnerships we've made this month include BSC News. So BSC News have over 1 million users, both on their Twitter and on their webpage. So they write articles and do press releases and stuff like this. And yeah, so we've partnered with them. That's going to be really good for us. And also One Key Wallet, we partnered with them. Giving users another way to connect to Tiny World and opening us up to their user base as well. We will continue to add valuable partnerships. We're working really hard to bring some more soon. We're in talks with a few. We're in talks all the time with potential partners, but we only bring partners on board that add value to the Tiny World ecosystem and to you guys. We should have some really fun upcoming events soon. Check our socials if you're not already following us on Twitter, or obviously you're here in our Discord, but you might not be on our Telegram, you might not know about our Medium. These places are where you'll find out a lot of the information about our events, so be sure to check out our Twitter at Tiny World GameFi. We're working on some really great Tiny World events as well. These should get you excited. So we all know Halloween is coming up. We've got a special event planned just for Halloween. We've got community events and giveaways to come as well. So the rest of the year is going to offer plenty of opportunities for you to win some extra funds. We've also recently started posting on Facebook and set up an Instagram account for Tiny World. So, we're trying to improve our, the amount of socials that we have and improve our exposure. So there'll probably be giveaways to promote these new platforms as well. So you have that to look forward to. I could blab on all day, but I realise that we might run out of time if I do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it there, and we're going to go straight into the live questions. Firstly, as always, would anyone like to come up? I can see one person got their hand up already. Mad, I'm going to welcome you to the stage.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you well, Mad. How are you?
Yeah, I am fine. My question is, how can I earn spirit? What are the methods to earn?
The methods to earn spirit. Okay, so you can earn spirit in a few different ways. The easiest way is by checking in on the Tiny World platform. So if you check in every day from Monday to Sunday in a week by completing an on-chain transaction every day, you will end up with some spirit at the end of the week on the following Monday. So the gas fees usually for the week cost less than $1, and you'll be rewarded with some spirit at the end. Other ways that you can obtain spirit is by playing Tiny Kingdom. So if you play Tiny Kingdom and reach the trade or forging leaderboard, you will be able to obtain spirit. You can also obtain spirit by reaching the Tiny Lord leaderboard. So as you play Tiny Lord, you will accrue points. These points will be totaled across the week, and at the end of the week on a Thursday, the leaderboard will end, and you'll be rewarded with spirit.
And what is the total supply of spirit? What is the total supply of spirit?
The total supply of spirit. Okay, so currently there is no total supply of spirit, but what I will say is the current emission rate, there's about 10,000 spirit being released each week. But yeah, spirit is an NFT, so there is no total amount of spirit that will there's no upper limit that we've set at the moment, but I'm sure that will come in the future.
Thank you for the answer, man. Thank you, bro.
No problem. And thank you, Mad. Does anyone else want to come up and discuss or ask me a question? So, I never know how to say your name. Kione or Kai1, maybe. Hello, about using spirit to improve combat power of heroes. I have 2 questions. 1, is it permanent? 1, yes, it is permanent. And 2, when referring to combat power, we are talking about Tiny Kingdom, right? And if so, the upgrade will affect the hero proportionally of his bonus stats, or it will be a uniform value upgrade. So, for number 2, basically, combat power is the power that you see on Tiny Farm. It's nothing to do with the Tiny Kingdom stats, like attack or defense. These are just Tiny Kingdom stats. So, the power figure, when you're looking at your NFT card, it will show you the power figure in the top right. For example, a level 1 R hero has 4 power. So that's what we're talking about when we're referring to being able to increase your combat power. Now, combat power can only be increased for SSR heroes and above, and it can't be increased to the maximum power. It can only be increased to around 80% of the maximum power, just so that we can protect the value and the rarity of these really high power heroes. So I hope that answers your question. Old Monk, my question as always is, when is the next Quest Carnival? And my answer is always, I don't have a crystal ball, my friend. But I'm sure it will come soon. I think we had one maybe 2 weeks ago. So it's usually about once a month, isn't it? So I'd say the next couple of weeks. Adity is waiting for the use of spirit in Tiny Kingdom. Now, this is the great thing about introducing an asset like spirit. It can have multiple different use cases, and as the team develop Tiny Kingdom, develop the rest of the Tiny World platform, there will of course be more use cases for spirit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what spirit could potentially do in Tiny Kingdom. There will be any use for spirit in Tiny Kingdom. Okay, so like I say, I'm sure there will. The team haven't told me yet of any Tiny Kingdom use cases for spirit, but I'm sure in the future they will. That's the whole point of bringing out this new asset of spirit is, firstly, of course, it can replenish energy, but now it can improve the power as well of Tiny Heroes, and I'm sure there will be some use cases for Tiny Kingdom. So some use cases that might use spirit instead. There's many different options. So like I say, I'm sure there will be plenty of uses for spirit in Tiny Kingdom and Tiny Dungeons when that's released, and every other game that we have coming in the future. Can we have more info about pets? Because people like me need to know what we needed to prepare for future investments in game. So I've given you all of the information about the tiny pets that I have today. Mad has asked, on which blockchains is Tinycoin available as of now, and are you planning to expand at all? Okay, so Tinycoin is a BEP20 token, and it's only available on the Binance Smart Chain. Of course, we're always keeping our options open to potentially deploy on other blockchains. When we were in the decision-making process and we decided to go with Binance Smart Chain, there were other options, Polygon, Solana, Avalanche. There's all these different blockchains that we could potentially build on. For now, we're concentrating on Binance Smart Chain. We're really trying to cuddle up with Binance a lot. So, I'm sure in the future we'll look at multi-chain. Even on the roadmap, we're looking at creating a multi-chain NFT bridge. So cross-chain is definitely on the cards in the future, but it's not in the list of priorities right now. As I said, the priorities right now are Tiny Pets, player versus player battle arena in Tiny Kingdom, and then Tiny Dungeons. Hypermithril, with news forging leaderboard and trade leaderboard with spirits. Will boss and castle leaderboard tiny coin price be reduced? Okay, so I think initially there was 500,000 tiny coins released each week from the leaderboards. Obviously, the majority of this was from the castle and from the boss leaderboard. There used to be 100,000 tiny coin released from the trade leaderboard, but obviously that's now been taken away. So we're saving 100,000 tiny coin in emissions each week. But yes, we're not going to pile those tiny coins onto the castle leaderboard or the boss leaderboard. Like I say, these tiny coins that we're saving from the trade leaderboard can now go somewhere else. So they can either be released in Tiny Dungeons, they can potentially be added somewhere else to make another leaderboard in Tiny Kingdom. They could potentially be used to increase the amount of quests that we have and things like this. So if you might know about the tiny coin emission procedure. We've got 5 years worth of tiny coin to be released through NFT farming and through play to earn. So there'll be emission reductions in the future. So December there'll be another emission reduction of tiny coins. So the leaderboards will reduce in output by 20%, I believe, or 25%. So, like I say, the tiny coin price or prizes will not be reduced until then on the leaderboards. Okay, Mad, are you planning to integrate dual token model or any other coins in Tiny World? Do you think dual tokenomics model is sustainable? Okay, so what I'll say to this is, when we first released Tiny World, there's a lot of GameFi projects out there that do have a dual token economy, and it has its advantages and its disadvantages, just like it does in a single token economy like we have in Tiny World. Now, the advantage we have of having a single token economy with Tinycoin is that we can use a stable coin in Binance US dollars to add value to Tinycoin. So all of our marketplaces, all of the trades are done in Binance US dollars. So this almost acts as the second token in our ecosystem. But with the way that Tinycoin is set up, it keeps the economy closed loop. It keeps a lot of the tokenomics mean that when you spend Tinycoin, a lot of it's either burned or it goes into the treasury, which belongs to the community. So, spending Tinycoin is only beneficial to the community members because a lot of it gets burned, and like I say, a lot of it goes back into the ecosystem. So this is the main reason that we decided to go for the single token economy. It fits in really well with our trading economy. And like I say, because we can balance it against the stable coin, it means that, in good times and in bad times, the project won't collapse. When can we see other modes compete in Tiny World? Okay, so obviously Tiny Kingdom will have its update in the next month or two, where you can have the player versus player battle arena. We are also in the process of creating some on-chain or off-chain games for Tiny Park, and then Tiny Dungeons, which is more of a simulation game with a built-in tower defense mechanism. So yeah, there's lots of different games that you can take part in Tiny World as we go through the next few months. Tiny World will look a lot different. And what is the individual daily cap of tokens earned by a single user in the game? Okay, so that's a pretty tricky one. What I will say is in Tiny Kingdom, if you're like our number one player in Tiny Kingdom, that are number one on 2 of the leaderboards, they're getting 41,000 tiny coins per week. When you're looking at farming, it totally depends. I mean, the daily emission for NFT farming currently stands at about 52,000 per day. If you have every single NFT staked into the pool, then you would be able to claim all of that. Of course, that's not the case. So yeah, putting a specific figure on individual users, I can't do. But what I will say is, in Tiny Kingdom, there's 400,000 Tiny Coin released each week. And then in NFT farming, there's about 360,000 Tiny Coin released each week. And then in the boost pool, you have a weekly emission of around 230,000. So it's about 1 million Tiny Coin, or just shy of 1 million Tiny Coin, that is emitted each week. And if you want to increase the amount of tokens earned each day, all you need to do is either provide more liquidity to the LP, stake more NFTs to the NFT farming pool, or increase your leaderboard position in Tiny Kingdom. So that's how you can increase the amount of Tiny Coins that you earn each day. Is your platform suitable for beginners to play Tiny World and earn, or is it appealing to professional GameFi users? Now, this is another good question, to be honest, because half of Tiny World is on-chain. So we have our NFT assets and our DeFi mechanics that needs to be on-chain. So this is more appealing to, obviously, professional GameFi users or people that have used DeFi or GameFi before. But our games are actually off-chain. They're built off-chain, like Tiny Kingdom. So it's more focused on the gameplay. Like, we're trying to focus on, rather than play to earn, we're focusing on play and earn. So you come to Tiny Kingdom because you want to play the game, and the earning is on top of it. Jorge, question about Spirit. Are rewards claimable from in-game wallet as Tiny Coin, if I understood well? Is there any minimum amount to withdraw or any fee? Now, from what I've been told, they're going to go straight into your in-game wallet, just like Tiny Coin, and they're going to be subject to that 1 week unlock period as well. I would assume that there'll be a minimum withdrawal, although I haven't been told that, and I assume that there'll be a fee as well to bring it back on chain. So look out for that. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more information in the next 2 days or so, because obviously these Spirit rewards won't be released until next Thursday. So yeah, we'll get some information written up and announced about that. So I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone for joining in. Next time in the community AMA, I should have some design teasers for the tiny pets. I will keep pestering the dev team to send me them. They did say they want to keep it a secret for another 1 or 2 weeks, and then they will share with me. So yeah, that for the next community AMA, I should be able to share them with you. At least some of the designs anyway. Hopefully we will have a bit more information about how tiny pets are going to work, and a bit more information about player versus player arena. And of course we will be talking more about the updates and developments that will have come over the next 2 weeks or so. So always a pleasure to be here with you guys. I'm going to sign out now. Thank you for joining. Have a good evening, guys, and I'll see you next time.